It's Friday, May 24. In the headlines, government pledges continued support for the disabled and vulnerable. In business news, the Bank of Jamaica says the economy continues to grow. Regionally, United Nations launches Regional Sustainable Supplier and SME program. And in sports, the West Indies has a 1-0 lead over South Africa in the T20 International Series. This is the weekend news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Prime Minister Andrew Holness participated in the National Labour Day activities on May 23 before commenting on the significance of the day's focus. Ramp up the access, show that you care for inclusion and support of fellow Jamaicans with disabilities, the elderly and the vulnerable. The national project was the building of a ramp at the Institute of Jamaica in downtown Kingston.
It is not only a physical exercise when the government speaks about access for our vulnerable and access for persons with disabilities and access for our elderly. When we talk about access, we mean giving them the means by which they are able to access a better life, a better quality of life. The improvement in the age-related tax exemptions that we have given to our pensioners. Another one which all our elderly persons who are not NIS contributors would immediately appreciate is the social pension for those elderly persons 75 years and older who are not now receiving an NIS pension. That is a major improvement in the quality of their life.
Opposition leader Mark Golding, who also participated in the National Labour Day project, called on the government to take a more active approach in ensuring society's vulnerable are able to participate in society.
This year's theme for Labour Day is a call to action, requiring all of us to recognize the barriers that exist for these vulnerable groups and to take the action necessary to overcome those barriers. Our goal is to make Jamaica a place where everyone has equal access to the opportunities, resources, and support they need to achieve their goals in life, where every individual is enabled to contribute their unique talents and perspectives without being hindered by obstacles over which they have no control.
Mr. Golding also called on the government to consider making improvements to the Sir John Golding Rehabilitation Centre to accommodate more people suffering from injuries and disabilities. This was Mr. Holness's response.
It is a good idea, and it is something that I will ask both the Minister of Labour and Social Security, the Minister of Local Government, and the Minister of Culture, and most certainly the Minister of Health, to work with that institution to see how it can be expanded.
Municipal corporations were allocated a combined total of $53 million to support Labour Day projects this year. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, in tandem with EdgeChem, and scores of volunteers turned out at the Jamaica Society for the Blind to beautify and improve accessibility to the facility. Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Andrew Swaby, said that the work undertaken is critical in ensuring that persons using the JSB's facilities will be able to do so with greater ease. In Portland, community members were hard at work on two key projects, building a ramp at the Portland Infirmary and renovating the community centre at Poinciana Park, Ferry Hill. Park Mountain Primary and Infant School in St. Elizabeth now boasts a new ramp and a much-needed facelift as members of the community and the parish's municipal corporation came out to lend a hand in the day's activities. In support of the national call for all Jamaicans to participate in National Labour Day projects, residents in East Kirkland Heights, St. Andrew joined hands to make some improvements to the area. We caught up with the East Kirkland Heights Citizens Association. Leading the charge in the day's activities, Melvin Pennant was on hand to file this report.
The usually quiet upscale community was abuzz with activities as the residents turned out in their numbers to do their part.
Today, we hope to achieve a lot. So our main road was previously or recently paved, and one of the things that we have targeted is there's an intimidating bend where cars can easily go over, and we don't want that to happen to our citizens or visitors. So we have started the work in terms of setting up poles to make it safe for persons coming around those bends. So and just to clean up the space in general, ensure that it's beauty as you enter the community. We want to have that feel of being home, you know, and probably don't even want to leave out because of the comfort and the beauty of the surroundings. So that's what we hope to achieve today in a nutshell.
We're really pleased about the participation. I mean, we gathered at 6:30 this morning. We started with prayer and breakfast. Then we moved out in our teams. And what we're seeing is that the numbers are building as we go along. And, you know, the aim is to do the main corridor through East Kirkland Heights. We're at the front and we're working our way up. And it has been great so far.
I am very elated to just be in my community because we are having a beautification project where we are cleaning the roadways and, you know, the camaraderie with the citizens. You know, it's a good look so far.
The East Kirkland Heights community, we have an active citizens association and we're a close-knit group. We have a WhatsApp chat. So once we put the word out, put the project together, all of this that you're seeing here, I would say about 3 to 4 weeks of planning.
Because what we have done also, we have incorporated the young men because we have our budding football team. So the young men have a size of about 10. Plus the rest are members in the community. As you can see, other persons are coming in.
Over the decades, most revolutions that brought about meaningful change were championed by the youth. The East Kirkland Heights football team came out in their numbers and energy to lend their support for the day's activities.
So I have to do it for them and do it for the community, said we, you know. Come on.
Well, first and foremost, it's not why, because the community has invested a lot in us, so it's just a small price to pay back in returning the help that they have offered us so far.
There is a strong mentorship program going on in the community for youths. The football team is targeted in particular, you know, because of the demographic of that group and just, you know, trying to mentor them to change their mindset, to think in another way. And so that is another project of the East Kirkland Heights Citizens Association.
Community business is everybody business, and I'm glad to see how the community has been supporting these young men, you know, to realize some of their football dreams, and not only that, just to play as a team and bring the East Kirkland Heights name to the forefront.
Melvin Pennant reporting for PBCJ News.
Itinian Nathaniel Henry is a community advocate in Jonestown, Kingston. He believes that service above self is a worthy lifetime achievement. His work in his neighborhood is proof of this belief. That's why he's a community hero. He grew up in Hannahtown but moved to Jonestown in 1988. He describes those years as challenging with violent and continuous gang wars.
You will have seen a lot of murder, a lot of shootings, a lot of friends were lost, and it was just tense. And even peace treated. The craziest thing was we used to have peace treated dance, and that's when the peace used to broke.
He says his father was there on important occasions, but his mother was a constant supporter to him and his siblings. To Itinia, education was the only way out.
It was basic school, which was Edith Dalton Basic School. And then I went to Shettle Park Primary. I got a scholarship to go to Lanneman's Prep. This is the one. And then against all the odds, with the violence, everything that was going on, I chose education, focus on education. I was able to get a scholarship and I went to the Campion College, best school ever. And that's where I met my best friends, Mr. Spencer, Shonda Bruce, and it changed my life. Then I got a scholarship again to go to university in Cuba. This is probably why I talk so fast, because Spanish say me. And then I came back join the corporate world.
The goal of using education to secure his future was attained. So why venture into volunteerism?
I started out with the CDC under Luke George Cook in 2011. And I even was doing, back in 2010, at youth clubs when I was gainfully employed at J. Reneview. I was assistant supervisor there. And when I left Reneview, I was there not doing anything. And so what we want to tell young people is that if you're there not doing anything, you could also volunteer your time, and then based on that, it opened doors for you to get access to work, because some of these persons who are helping with charity work are actually persons from the business sector, and they see that you're committed to the cause, that there's no money involved, you're willing to work, you will open doors. I started as an avenue where I could get work by being around business people, so that started it. And I actually started to enjoy it, because the joy on people's face when you help them, it's a selfish reason, but it makes me feel good inside.
Mr. Henry has been a part of several community development initiatives over the years, but some have been more memorable than others.
So we're doing a project now called Increase the Peace. USA funded, so this is the shirt. And in the project, we're basically trying to get behavioral changes from at-risk youth between the age of 10 up to 29. And so we look at a 10-year-old girl, and so you look at it's about 4 months, so we're going to track their behavior changes. So this is a girl coming to us, and it started out, we having a computer marathon with the Lesma Ellis Foundation. That was held on January the 7th. And when we have the function, we're giving out biscuits, sweets, whatever it is. And this girl joined the line, and when the shopkeeper called me, and the shopkeeper was telling me what happened, and I saw it, the little girl was able to rejoin the line like 10, 12 times, get a case of stuff, I had the idea to sell it back to the shopkeeper for profit, I kept on going back in. It's like, sir, we don't get none. And that's dishonest, that's wrong with everything. And give credit to the shopkeeper who kind of refused to buy it for her because she know it was ill-gotten gains. But then the genius of what she was doing to kind of hustle mentality. And it's like, you're 10 years old, you're on the wrong path of thinking, but there's something there that you want to earn money and thing. And so that's how we started negative. So now we end up going to downtown to National Art Gallery, which was 2 weeks ago, recently. And we're going to National Art Gallery. I was the person who was driving. I carried her and she was in the car. And we stopped at a stoplight and there was a lady, old lady begging money. I was like, don't have any money on me or anything. And so I was going to drive off. And she said, no, sir, stop. The same little 10-year-old girl. And she was like, she can't get $100 a year. I have $100 for me lunch money, but she can't get it. Everybody was blowing the horn because there was green light. And I said, yo, we're breaking the law. She said, sir, yes, but it's for the right reasons. And that's the transition. So she moved from doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason. And now she's doing the wrong thing again, so it's still a progress, but she's doing it for the right reason. So make them wait, sir, the right reason I do it for. And I was so proud of her.
Well, Mr. Aitana Henry, as we call him, the boss. Very, very hardworking, industrious. He's one of the persons that put in the extra effort and the mile to get all the... See that we are in a volatile era. He always tries to get projects and programs to get the youths together. If it's even once or twice per week, because the idle, so they will find things that won't be beneficial to anybody. So he has programs. He has a computer program. Once a week we have classes on Saturdays. Two sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So, and Mr. Henry is I don't know him do it, but he's always the first person here and always the last person to leave. And he goes the extra mile just to get everything going.
It's the best feeling ever that the community is buying in. We're very segregated, different from the side you come from, even though everybody should be under one banner. But for different reasons, there's social, there are also different implications where even gang warfare, everybody have a side. But everybody is united around me and around the project. So I would never complain about the support that we've gotten.
Several times when he was getting funding from the USAID program, he was back and front with us. Dedication, fervor and zealousness just to get the project approved in order to have this program run in his community. So his dedication should be commended because he goes above and beyond.
Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Richard Biles, says the country's economy continues to grow, but at a more moderate rate. Mr. Biles, speaking at the release of the quarterly monetary policy report, said GDP for the financial year 2023-2024 is estimated to have grown within the range of 1.5 to 2.5%, and the economy is expected to grow in the June 2024 quarter, albeit at a slower pace. Jamaican investors are joining the international trend to profit from higher interest rates in order to earn more passive income. Globally, investors have poured US $3.7 billion into high-yield bond funds this year. International investment research firm Refinitiv Lipper data shows this information. Seeking higher returns from bonds, Jamaicans are considering bonds as a choice over the lower returns from saving accounts. Denise Williams continues the discussion in her interview with Rachel Curlew, Assistant Vice President of Mayberry Investments.
Now, what we want to look at is interest rates, and they have risen. And the good thing for investors is that interest rates have risen so that now you can get some reliable income. And we want to deep dive into that. So, Rachel, what's happening, in the investment world so that investors can have reliable income because of higher interest rates?
Okay. So I agree with you. We are definitely in a high interest rate environment, but that only means that we're in an environment that is offering high yielding instruments.
Okay.
And we're seeing this now in the fixed income markets.
Mm-hmm.
So the fixed income markets are offering higher returns than, for example, the stock market. So.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying fixed income, which means I'm getting my income at a fixed period, is higher right now than the stock market.
Yep. So bonds, if you invest in bonds right now, for example, the MJE bonds, you're guaranteeing yourself 10.5% per annum in fixed quarterly payments. So you're getting back your money every 3 months, plus you're getting back your principal at maturity. So you're locking into 10.5% per annum up to 3 years. So you know you're going to get back this money, as opposed to the stock market. You can't get that right now on the stock market. You can't even get it in a traditional savings account.
Oh, of course. Okay. So savings account, rock bottom.
Rock bottom.
Okay. The stock market, But what you're saying is we're at a point where there's double-digit interest rate paid on your money per annum. You're getting a check every 3 months. And then at the end of the period, you get back your principal.
Agreed. So, as you said, that's the perfect way right now to earn some reliable income. You're getting fixed payments every quarter, plus you're getting back your principal at maturity.
Now for a look at the trade movements of the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
During trading for May 22, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Alternative energy provider Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with 2,065,246 units amounted to 19.55% of the entire market volume in terms of equity sales. Agriculture, export, and real estate holdings firm Jamaica Producers Group Limited with 1,045 units amounted to 9.47% of the entire market volume in terms of equity sales. Online educator Edufocal Limited with 994,984 units amounted to 9.42% of the entire market volume in terms of equity sales. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on May 22, 2024 registered a volume of 140,246 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange valued at 1,081,504 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 57 cents. Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 64,825 shares, changing hands for a value of 272,091 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 91 cents. The West Indian Tobacco Company Limited had a volume of 52,250 shares being traded for 470,455 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 43 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On May 22, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $43.9 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $53.6 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $156.89 and bought the US dollar for $155.39. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.50, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of 57 cents from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold for $115.42 and bought for $114.85. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $5.50, selling it for $199.63 and buying it for $194.13. For the credit report tip of the day, losing a job or changing jobs can be a tough experience, and your credit score can be impacted if you're not careful. If you are able quickly rebuild with a secured credit card, that will show positively on your credit report. Consider applying for a secured credit card. These tools can help you rebuild credit by demonstrating responsible use, which positively impacts your credit score over time. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, Barbados and the region are poised to gain from a new initiative, the United Nations Global Compact Sustainable Supplier and SME Program, launched at the Global Supply Chain Forum. The program aims to fill the vital gaps, speeding up sustainability in global supply chains and preparing small and medium-sized enterprises for the shift to green practices. According to Rebecca Greenspan, Secretary General of the UN Trade and Development, it will guarantee that no business, regardless of its size, gets left behind in the march toward advancement.
These programs will catalyze the region's transition towards a sustainable blue economy, harnessing the vast potential of its marine resources while protecting its fragile ecosystems. By investing in sustainable fishing practices, responsible tourism, and innovative technologies, we can ensure that the Caribbean's blue economy serves as a model for the world, creating jobs, boosting economic growth, and safeguarding our planet for future generations.
We really look forward to seeing many more Caribbean businesses in this new Global Compact network so that they benefit from sustainable practices, as this can have really a great positive impact within as well outside of businesses. And let's not forget that this initiative was born in Barbados, is rooted in Barbados, and that's why we want to have more businesses from the Caribbean as well as from Barbados. Because we know that when companies embed sustainability into their strategy and operation, it will not only increase profitability and competitiveness, or yield higher business valuation or lower cost of capital, but it will also enhance brand recognition.
The Division of Student Services and Development at UWI St. Augustine campus is lending a helping hand to institutions in St. Lucia. They're offering support in all areas of student development, ensuring holistic growth. This initiative showcases their commitment to giving back and fostering collaboration beyond campus borders.
Students at the Center for Adolescence Renewal and Education are benefiting from an empowering initiative aimed at enhancing self-esteem and equipping them with tools to plan for the future. Some 18 students from the campus are volunteering at institutions across the island to provide support in areas which they require assistance outside of academics.
When people can see themselves in a different place, when they can visualize what their future looks like, when we can encourage them that there is something out there to you, that within you, I like to say, within you lies something that the world is waiting for. And so when we help students to see that, to visualize that, to actualize that, and to give them the tools to begin planning that, we think we can shift the needle a bit. I think sometimes there are little gaps that are missing, but again, working, I think, not just the University of the West Indies, but as you said, across the region, what institutions and organizations need to do is to ensure that we work with organizations such as CARE in building sustainable communities.
The Center for Adolescence Renewal and Education strives to develop the competencies of students to be productive citizens. Officials are optimistic that these initiatives will serve as catalysts, providing students with additional motivation to aspire for greatness.
It's giving them exposure to other opportunities, because despite what persons may think and they look down at CARE trainees, there are many of our trainees who have the potential to go to university. And so being able to engage with the university students will open, I know, some eyes, will probably encourage others even more to just strive and reach the heights that they would like to reach.
In sports, we opened the innings with cricket. The West Indies have taken a 1-0 lead over South Africa in their 3-match T20 International Series after winning the opening match by 28 runs at Sabina Park on Thursday. The West Indies, led by man of the match Brandon King, posted 175 for 8 off their 20 overs. King smashed 79 of 45 balls, including 6 fours and 6 sixes. The South Africans were dismissed for 147 in 19.5 overs. The second T20 International will be played on Saturday, also at Sabina Park. Staying with cricket, students from several city schools on Thursday afternoon had an opportunity to get close up to the World T20 trophy as the tour continued with a visit to one of Guyana's iconic landmarks, the St. George's Cathedral. Close to 100 young boys and girls drawn from the learning institutions were selected for the promotional activity coordinated by the local organizing committee. Let's take a look.
It was a good experience to see the trophy in person. You always see it on TV, and you get to see how big the trophy is in person. That's amazing to see and experience. I see all the other cricketers as well.
I'm very fortunate because I love cricket. My grandmother inspired me to play cricket since I was 4, and I really love cricket. It was a very good opportunity.
What is it you like so much about cricket?
Everything, the bowling, the batting, the action from the crowd, everything. It just gets me excited.
It's a nice opportunity which I get to experience a lot. This is my first time here, and I'm glad to be here because in honor of Clyde Boats.
Yeah. What is it you like about cricket?
Well, personally, it's my favorite sport, and I love cricket because my grandfather and taking part of his sport.
I think the opportunity that I got now, when I was growing, I didn't have the opportunity, and I know for sure that there's one way would inspire them to play cricket.
And of course, you're rooting for the West Indies to go out all the way and win?
Well, definitely. Hopefully, West Indies could win it for the third time.
Yeah, exactly. The youth is the future, and a lot of kids came out today to see the trophy, a beautiful trophy, and hopefully it stays in the West Indies.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Pleasant viewing.